Music's a little loud, but sorry, StreamYard's been jacking up. Okay, we're good. Welcome. We got. I started the day thinking we didn't have that much to go off of. Boom. What do you know? We got Nothing Phone 3 pictures, and then I was like, oh yeah, there's a huge Samsung story, very disappointing, that we will get into. And then we have Google Pixel news for all the hashtag Team Pixel people out there, which includes myself. Huge news. So we'll jump right into it. This morning we got Nothing Phone 3 renders. Now, a little surprising, to be honest with you. And let me show you what I'm talking about. So, Nothing Phone 3, we have gotten little hints here and there. It's been kept under wraps really, really well. Not many leaks at all. Hardly anything. All we knew is that it was going to have a flagship CPU, whatever that means. And we found out basically a few weeks ago it was going to have a flagship price tag as well. Initially thought it was going to be right around the $1,000 point because Carl Pei did say it was going to be an $800 euro phone, which translates to 916 US dollars. And then we got news that leaked out. No, it's going to be 800 euros in Europe, obviously, and $800 here in the US. So a little price increase, but nothing that dramatic. And then when I did a video last week, we got news that there was going to be no glyph lights on the back. But they were going to introduce a dot matrix, right, on the back. And I may link that video after this live is done so everybody can check it out. But today, a little head scratcher. Let me go ahead and pull up the photo of the Nothing Phone 3 because it's pretty interesting. It appears it's missing the dot matrix. Now, it could be on the back there, but as you can tell, there's basically, it's a clear back phone, right? Sort of takes and we're gonna get into another head scratcher I got for you here in just a second. But getting back to the dot matrix, I don't know if this has a dot matrix on it. It doesn't look like where there is a set place. Typically on some renders, now they were not official renders, but people were mocking up a Phone 3 that looked nothing like this, but on the back had a little section right where that little red square is, probably down to where the Nothing logo is in the bottom left. There'd be basically a 1080p by 1080p square or a dot matrix setup where you can customize it, and it can basically turn into, it's like a glyph on steroids where you have a bunch of tiny LED dots instead of just one LED strip. But this appears to have nothing, no pun intended. But depending on how you feel, look, I don't know for sure, but I personally believe Nothing is going to keep the glyph lights on the A series, their more affordable series, and then it appears they're going to go glyphless, no glyphs on their flagship series. Now that could change in the future, but I don't see anywhere where there's a dot matrix on here. I don't see anywhere where, obviously, there's no glyph lights on here. So a very interesting choice. May not be received too well by some Nothing fans. It's going to take me a little while to get used to because the glyph lights were something that we have come to get used to with Nothing. So very interesting choice. They are going to keep the see-through back. So I think that's a staple for Nothing, is obviously the see-through backs. It used to be see-through backs and glyphs, but it looks like it's just going to be see-through backs. But I want to pull up an image here because I'm supposed to have this ready. This design, although it looks kind of, if you turn it sideways, it looks like an emoji face. It looks like the two dots on the right, the two dots, the two camera sensors on the right. If you tilt it to the left, it looks like you got two eyes and a mouth, but this might be a familiar design because, let me pull up this photo. Hang on one second. This might look like a familiar design. So check this out. During the launch of the Nothing Phone 3A and 3A Pro, there was like a 15 or 17 minute launch. So for the 3A series, Nothing will just upload a video. They're not at the level yet to where they can have like a they get together live in a big auditorium and launch like what Samsung does with the Galaxy devices, or like what iPhone does with their, well, I guess iPhone switched to a uploaded video last year. But during that 15 to 17 minute video of the 3A series, they had the 3A and 3A Pro, but they also did a 1 minute shot of discussing some of the other models and designs that they had considered for the 3A and 3A Pro. Some clever person got a screenshot of the devices, of the prototypes that were laying on the counter, and what do you know? The Nothing Phone 3 design was laying on the table. So is this a design that they had considered for the Nothing Phone 3A Pro that they're basically now pushing out as the Nothing Phone 3? Does that make you think anything different of it? Does that lower its value, knowing that Nothing was going to charge $459 for this device? Now they're going to charge $800. Could it be this same design but just newer, upgraded internals? I think the answer is yes to everything. So it won't degrade its value, in my opinion. Look, when I first saw it, I was like, what the hell is this? It's growing on me. I think I will like it, and I think it's an okay design. I think it looks much better than the Nothing Phone 3A Pro. I don't like the design of the 3A Pro. I mean, I shouldn't say I don't like it. I haven't gotten used to it yet. But this one I can get used to. It's not ugly by any means. It's just we're used to a certain design by Nothing, right? You go from the Phone 1 to the Phone 2. Pretty similar, right? Pretty familiar. And then from the Phone 2A to the Phone 3A, really similar. They same design, and just added an extra sensor on the back, right? In that little strip. Now you can tell their design team is kind of moving into this because look, it has some resemblance to the 3A Pro, where it's got that circular design around the camera array. But the 3A Pro, the reason why it's taken a while for me to like the 3A Pro is it has camera sensors all over the place. I mean, it's not like nice and neat looking, right? It's like offset camera sensors here, here, and here. You know, it's just kind of weird to look at. This one, at least, it does kind of line up symmetrically. I think I like it. It's going to take a little while to get used to without the glyphs and or a dot matrix, I'm assuming. But does this make you think anything less of the Phone 3 if you knew Nothing had plans to release this as the 3A Pro? Maybe this was one of the finalists and they were thinking, you know what? Let's not release this as the 3A Pro. Let's release this as the 3. It looks more refined. It looks more symmetrical. It does look better, in my opinion, than the 3A Pro. But very interesting to see now. The Nothing Phone 3A, the Nothing Phone 3 is going to release on July the 1st, which is what, 20 to 3 weeks away. They already have a YouTube video set, and I clicked the notify me button, and trust me, we're gonna have full coverage of this device. I plan on getting it, so we will have to wait and see. I don't know. Again, with the C, it's going to have flagship specs, so what you can expect is possibly a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite or Snapdragon 8S Gen 4. Either one of those, both are considered flagship CPUs. The 8S Gen 4 is more geared towards AI, which right off the bat, you think flagship CPU, it's going to be the 8 Elite. However, the 8S Gen 4 is more tuned specifically for AI and AI functionalities, and you know this thing's going to be probably the best AI Android, or probably the best AI phone, period, right? They spent 2 years fine-tuning this and developing this on the software side, and now it's finally ready, so it'll be interesting to see. Now, I don't use the essential key. I just don't. Maybe, obviously, this one has an essential key. You can obviously see it doesn't have an essential key. I just don't use mine. Hopefully, with this one, they'll bring, and they will, some more features. Since you're paying more of a flagship, a more premium price for this, it's going to have more AI features. I can guarantee you that. So, what is your opinion? Do you like the design? Do you not like the design? I've seen online some people like it, some people don't like it. I think I like it. It was a kind of a shock when I first saw it because I was not expecting this design. But then when I saw this was in the 3A release video of their other prototypes, and you know, nothing is very sneaky. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was not a potential candidate for the 3A Pro. Nothing's very sneaky, and they've done this with each release. They'll throw in little hints here and there, like little puzzle pieces, and you can kind of, if you study them real closely, you can kind of put the pieces together. Now, this one obviously flew right over our heads, but I didn't expect any of those devices sitting on the table to be the Phone 3. I took them for their word and thought it was those devices on the table were candidates for 3A and 3A Pro. But apparently it was there this whole time, and I don't think it was blurred out. In fact, they did have a 3 that was blurred out, but it obviously wasn't this one that we're seeing because it's a photo of it sitting on the table. So very interesting. Should have a 12 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage. Should have a quad HD display. I'm sure it's going to be HDR10 plus certified. Camera sensors, they definitely stepped their game up in the sensor department with the 3A and 3A Pro, especially with the CMF Phone 2 Pro. So I'm expecting the sensors to be phenomenal. In fact, it should be the highlight of this release. Now, again, I don't expect it to be on pixel level, right? But as long as you can get close, that'll be satisfactory to me. So it should be better than Samsung. It seems like Samsung took a step back with the S24 series and S25 series. I still think the S23 Ultra was the best photo quality Samsung device. Yes, 2-year-old flagship. I just, for whatever reason, these photos on the S25 Ultra, S25 Edge just aren't really, I don't know. It's very, you know what it is? It's very inconsistent. With Pixel, it's consistently consistent. It's rare that you get a messed up photo or one that you think, damn, that doesn't look too good, right? It seems like that's every other shot with the S25 Ultra or S25 Edge or S24 Ultra. You can get good photos, but it's not consistent, right? So as long as nothing can, look, they've had 2 years to fine tune this. So if something is not, it would be a shock to me if something was, not up to par on this device. It's taken 2 years to release it, and everything should be top notch. So we'll have to wait and see. July 1st is the release date, so please stay tuned. We will keep an eye on that. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. Fiberborn, what's going on? Thank you for stopping by. I have case reviews for Fiberborn coming up, OnePlus 13 and S25 Edge. So please stay tuned for that. I'm going to record those here shortly. Love those cases. In fact, I will put a link in the video description to all your flagship cases, Fiberborn. Thank you for joining us. Brian, oh, you know what? I sent out cases for everybody that got cases the other day. I went ahead and sent them out. So I have gotten emails from a couple of viewers stating that they did receive their cases. So be on the lookout. You should get them. All of them should be delivered unless you're out of the country. I think we had, I don't know, a couple people in Canada, one in India, stuff like that. So obviously those will take a little longer. But did you get yours? I just got my S25 Ultra, moving after many years back to Android. However, the amount of Samsung's apps are mind-blowing. Did you get a case from me, Super Buffo? I think you did. Okay, it is coming soon? Good. Perfect. Okay, awesome. Good news. I was going to say, if you did not get one, I was going to say email me, because I remember your name. I was going to say email me, and I'll send you a case for free. I get a bunch sitting over there. Speaking of Samsung, let's move on to some bummer. Some bummer news, right? Samsung. Man, they sure do know how to tease. Now, this news, good news, bad news, right? So, we were all expecting Samsung to release the upcoming S25 series, possibly with the silicon carbon batteries. Ended up they did not, right? It's like, damn, that sucks. Well, they're for surely going to put it on the S26 series, right? No, they're not. So there is a news article out here from WCCF Tech, and Samsung has decided not to put silicon carbon in the S26 Ultra. Oh my goodness. Now, yes, this does suck, but I think they're on to something. And for them to make this decision tells me they are onto something. And from real world usage with this S25 Edge, they are onto something, right? So it's officially undecided about the S26 Ultra battery capacity, but we know now they're not using silicon carbon, and there's not going to be 65-watt fast charging. Each and every year, we sit here and wait for Samsung to up their charging speeds. I want to see them up there with OnePlus, right? The tech is there. There's no excuse for these phones to take longer than 30 minutes from 0 to 100, right? There's no excuse at this point. And I just wonder how much longer should we expect Samsung or any other company for that, for the matter, to bump up their charging speeds, right? Because Pixel, Google, you are on that list too, right? Nothing. You're on that list too. Now, it appears the battery capacity for the S26 Ultra is going to be under 5,400 milliamp per hour. And the commercial version, the final version, might just be the same old 5,000 milliamp per hour battery that we have gotten used to. I think they're on to something, however, because they've implemented some AI. So the battery life on this S25 Edge is insane. Like, if I didn't tell you, if I told you that this S25 Edge had a silicon carbon battery inside it, you would believe me. It's hard to believe that this does not have some newer battery. Now, they've implemented a battery monitoring AI code in this software that very intelligently extends your battery life. Now, there's not much information as far as what that code entails or what that, and it's not even an application. It's baked into the operating system. But just for example, let me show you the battery life. And again, this is a 3,900 milliamp per hour battery, smaller than what's on the base S25. I'm getting phenomenal battery life on this thing. So let me show you. I have almost 7 hours of screen on time over this last charge to 100%. 7 hours, right? Let me show you. From 100, let's see. 2 days ago, I got 8 hours and 38 minutes of screen on time. 8 hours, 38 minutes on one charge. Check this out. That is insane. So I think they are so impressed, the people at Samsung, with their developers and how they're intelligently monitoring battery usage and background processes in this Edge, because this is the first phone that Samsung has released with this new AI, battery monitoring AI baked in the software, right? The S25 Ultra does not have this. The S25 Plus, S25, they're going to implement this same AI code, the same battery monitoring intelligence into next year's S26 lineup. So it'll be the S26, S26 Edge, and S26 Ultra. And that should dynamically increase battery life without having to switch to silicon carbon. But that makes you wonder, why not switch to silicon carbon and implement this battery monitoring intelligence? Like, you could super duper increase battery life. If you're extending battery life by, let's say, I don't know, 2 hours of screen on time or an hour and a half of screen on time with this AI code baked in this Edge, what if you put a silicon carbon plus this battery monitoring intelligence together? You could get maybe, I don't know, 3 extra hours of screen on time. Like, I get why they're doing it, but I kind of wish they would go the extra mile, right? To really get battery life in these things cranking out. So, kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. So here's the tweet. 65, let's see. Okay, so this person wants a whole lot of good specs, and Panda Flash says, not so fast. Battery capacity is not final yet, but under 5,400 milliamp per hour, if they increase it. Charging speeds not charging speeds not 65 watts. It will be 120 hertz refresh rate, no under display camera. So, and we don't know, no word on design, right? Probably too early to tell on that, but here is the AI that improves the efficiency of this device. I'm going to put a link. I'm not going to go over this article because I basically just told you what it's all about, but I will link this in the video description once this live is done. I'll definitely do that. Add gaming triggers to the next phone. Some brands tried it, but now no one does it. You can do one thing. Just add a dedicated button for the camera, and then let's allow it to customize the buttons. That would be cool. Sort of like what OnePlus has done with the action button, or what do they call it? The plus button on the, I get it mixed up. On the OnePlus 13 S and 13T. you could put another one or two, right? Or you could strategically place them around the device. I think that's actually a really cool idea. Thank you. Function and volume with power buttons. Function to act as gaming triggers while gaming mode is enabled. That sounds really cool. I actually really like that idea. Oh, that message was for nothing? Yeah. Yeah, with the essential button, look, I just don't use it. I don't know. Oh, and you know what too? The essential button is a pain in the ass if you're trying to record. Not if you're, well, yeah, I guess I have issues when I'm holding it, but if you put it in a mount, if you put that Nothing Phone 3A Pro or upcoming 3 in a tripod, and you have clamps where you try to clamp it down, it's always hitting that essential button. Big pain in the ass. But that would be cool. I would like to see that. Now, check this out. So, Pixel users, Android 16 is now available. Now, we have two updates. One for the stable build and one for the beta build. Now, it was kind of up in the air what update was coming out for which build, right? So if you're on the if you're on the stable build, meaning you did not enroll in the beta program and you're currently you're on Android 15, there is an Android 16 update today for you. The official build of Android 16 will be coming to your phone today. It was just released earlier today. I've checked a couple pixels here in the studio, nothing yet. But then I got word, I saw something online that said there's a new beta update out as well. And I said, there is? I thought that was for stable. Well, I found this article that says Android 16 QPR 1 Beta 2 for Pixel devices rolling out with connected display support. So Google breaking a little bit of their tradition or rollout history. Typically what they'll do is they'll release every month for security patches and software updates. Google will release the stable build first at the first of the month, and then they'll release a week later the update for the beta builds, right? Whoever's on their beta software and the beta program, which I am on this 9 Pro XL. Today it appears they're pushing updates out for both stable build and beta build. Now, what's cool about this beta build is that we get to finally see what Pixel DeX is all about. Now, they're calling it connected displays, I guess officially. I'm gonna call it Pixel DeX because that's basically, they've worked with Samsung behind the scenes together to get this out and rolling out to Pixel users. So this update apparently is going to activate the Pixel DeX-like mode for desktop users. You can plug your Pixel in to an external display and you will get a Samsung DeX-like experience with windows, resizable windows, and everything. I tried it on the last update and you can plug in your phone to an external display, but it just gives you some gibberish, generic. It does work, but it's very finicky. It does not work very well. The update that they're pushing out today is supposed to be completely working. So this is what you can expect. So this builds on the desktop windowing from last year. Support that lets you resize windows. That feature is launching with Android 16 and has been updated with desktop persistence. Android can now better maintain window sizes, positions, and states across different desktops. You can also have multiple desktops. Support for multiple desktop sessions to match distinct productivity requirements and switch between the desktops using keyboard shortcuts, trackpad gestures, and overview. Flexible window tiling. Multiple app windows can be rearranged side by side in other configurations. Multi-instant management. Apps like Chrome, Google Keep, and support multi-instances windows. Controllable via the app header button or taskbar context menu. We also get enhanced app compatibility treatments. Application developers and users will benefit from new compatibility treatments that ensure even legacy apps behave more predictable and look better on external displays. Here you get to see screenshots. So what this will do, you know, like if you have a Samsung tablet, it's really cool because you have the choice of 2 operating systems when you have an when you have a Samsung tablet. You can run in regular One UI where it looks just like your Samsung phone, or you can run it in DeX mode, which basically makes it look like a laptop, kind of like more looks like a Windows type experience, like Windows 11. It appears this new connected devices feature is going to look something similar to Samsung DeX, and I can see why and or how they worked with Samsung hand in hand to kind of get this a push and get it to be put out to the public. It looks fairly similar to Samsung DeX. It also looks similar to a Pixel tablet. Now, if you have not had a Pixel tablet recently, they did upgrade the operating system to be more Windows-like, I guess you could say, which is it's a good thing in my opinion. I know some people don't like Windows, but give us functionality. Samsung DeX is a phenomenal tool that I think a lot of people don't utilize. It's really cool and you may try it out once or twice. But if you do a lot of work online, if you do a lot of emails, if you do a lot of messaging, if you read a lot of documents, scan documents, this is a phenomenal tool to use where you can literally, you don't need a laptop, right? You can use a external monitor, right? What I'm using right now, you can't see, it's below the camera, but all you got to take is an external monitor. You can hook it up to monitors like this that are behind me and basically have your whole workflow with just operating off of your phone. I think this is long overdue, and I've been begging and begging and begging Google to please implement this in operating system. And I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed because even though it says it's available on this beta version that's updated today, I'm gonna believe it when I see it. Basically, I've been waiting for this for so long. I don't want to get too excited, but trust me, if and when the update hits my device, I'm gonna update the device and I am going to do a review of Pixel DeX and or connected displays, whatever they want to call it. Let me see here. Now, it says there's an update, but what do you know? Just got it right now. So, good news. I guess I'll go ahead and update it and test it out. So, let's see here. What else do we have? Oh yes, getting back to Samsung. So check this out. So Samsung's been teasing the Galaxy Z Fold 7. Now, Z Fold 7 is it's a big deal, and Samsung's making it a big deal because they have to make it a big deal. They've been kind of sitting up top of the leaderboard with their feet crossed and their arms tucked in because they can just kick back, right? For so long, Samsung's been in the lead when it comes to foldables, but in years past, I mean, just in the last few years, there's so many companies that have not only met Samsung, have raised the bar and passed Samsung. You look at the OnePlus Open a couple years ago. You look at the Oppo Find N5. Just incredible feats of technology that are like breathtaking, right? Jaw-dropping. Well, now that the heat has been turned up on Samsung, it looks like they're finally really trying to set the bar again as far as for foldables. at least when it comes to the Fold. Now, they are making some upgrades to the Flip series, but specifically the Fold here, when it's going to be released here probably in about 4 to 5 weeks, it will be the thinnest foldable ever made when it's folded open. And just by seeing some of these photos, it looks pretty freaking cool. Now, they're saying it's going to be the thinnest and lightest foldable, most advanced foldable ever, which certainly looks and sounds amazing, and I can't wait to see this. I was tempted to get the Fold 6 last year, just never did. They might have me with this one. And may I add, if you have a super slim phone like this S25 Edge, if you have a super slim phone like this, if you potentially get the Z Fold 7, you're going to want to protect it. And what is the best case to protect a thin phone with? Is a thin case. The last thing you want to do is put a big bulky case on a thin phone. It defeats the purpose of buying a thin phone. Not just thin, but lightweight, right? A lot of those big bulky cases, they add 20, I was gonna say about 20 grams, whatever. They add weight to it. It does not feel like the same phone when you put these cases on it. That's why I recommend you get a fiber-borne case. Fiber-borne cases, you want to see how thin they are? Check this out. Fiber-borne cases. Look how thin these are. You're going to want to add something like that to your device. Trust me. Because you're going to want to protect it, but you don't want to add bulk. You do not want to add weight to it. Get you a fiber-borne. These are my favorite cases, and I absolutely love them. And they all come with, you guessed it, MagSafe compatibility. So you're definitely going to want to get you a fiber-borne case. That's a free promo for a free advertisement for fiber-borne. So we look forward to this Z Fold 7. I don't know when it's going to be released. There is no official release date yet for the Fold 7, but it will be in July. They release their foldables every July. So basically 4 to 5 weeks from now, we should be able to see what this will finally look like. Should be just around 4 millimeters when completely open. And getting back to the Flip 7, they are going to put a full outer display on the Flip 7. So no more kind of, on the Flip 6 where the outer display is kind of cut off right where those sensors are. Now it's going to look like a Moto Razr, right, or Razr Ultra, where the complete outer display is going to be screen, and it's going to be 120 hertz. What kills me is using the Flip 6 outer display. It's only 60 hertz, and it's slow as molasses. Finally going to upgrade that outer display to 120 hertz, so look forward to that. But I do appreciate the time. Thank you for everybody stopping by. I am going to update my Pixel and try this desktop experience out. If it's working, I will make a video about it. Actually, you know what? Let's see if this will update, if this will restart here. I'll say I could do it here on the live. It's only 391 megabytes, so it's not that big. Is there any other news going on? Let's see here. Any other news? There is supposed to be some new camera features for the Pixel devices. in this new Pixel VIPs widget. Now, if you've heard, I just briefly heard about this the other day, and I looked into it, and basically what it is, let me show you here. So they're going to introduce this Pixel VIPs widget, and basically what it is, it's just a widget that you add to your home screen, and it just has like your favorite people or the contacts that you communicate with the most is going to be up there. It's kind of like how, remember when T-Mobile did their favorite 5 or something like that? Whatever, I'm not going to install it on my phone. Well, maybe I will, I don't know. Let's see. And it's going to look like this. So this is the Pixel VIPs. What is this? Gboard. Yeah, that's still part of Pixel VIPs right here. So that'll be a new widget they're going to introduce. You can keep tabs on family members, friends. What is it? Simply type in your prompt, choose the right emotion, and send without having to switch apps. So it looks like they're going to bake in the emoji maker into the the Gboard app, and you can generate the custom emojis while you're in the messaging app as well, so you don't have to switch applications. Battery health. What else are we getting with the update? Battery health information provides an estimated remaining capacity as a percentage. Pixel camera app, adding an education hub with how-to instructions and visual inspirations for each mode when you tap new question mark icon in the top right corner. All right. Live search in the magnifying app. Some of these features looks like I just simply won't use, right? But they are there if you do want to use them. That update's coming close. So here's what I'll do. It looks like I might be able to do this on live real quick. But to activate it, you do have to go, if you have a Pixel, you do need to go to your developer options and activate it in developer options before you plug it into an external monitor. So let's go to get it ready, let's go to developer options, and then what is it called? What is it called? Let me see here. Connected displays. Okay, so I need to, when connected to an external monitor, it will start a new desktop session. Be sure to enable desktop experience features in developer options. Okay, so go to developer options and search desktop experience features. Huh. I actually don't see it. Now, maybe that's with the new update. You got to install it first, and then it will appear in developer options. Let's see. I thought it was there. Maybe they removed it. I'm almost done. I was gonna try this. She can come in here. All right, so apparently we're almost done. Well, it's taking a little longer than I thought, but let's see. Brian, how's it going? Appreciate you for stopping by. Miami 786 mail, thank you, sir. Appreciate you stopping by. How's it going? So how do you like the S25 Ultra so far? What color did you get? Did you get the white one? I think you said black, right? I think you said it was the black one, which is nice. I've had that one too. Very nice. Well, this update is taking a little longer than I thought, but let's see. Any more news? And I will be possibly discussing, well, I'm sure I will at some point. I touched on it briefly yesterday. iOS 26, liquid glass. It's catching a lot of backlash online. And I've seen a lot of people complain about what I made a video about yesterday was it's hard to, the icons blend in too much with the background, right? The icons, on-screen menus, everything is transparent and it just blends in too much, right? Like, it'd be kind of hard to tell. Some people will have issues seeing those icons. Now, I'm sure it'll have different modes, right? I'm sure they'll have a what do they call it? Contrast mode, where it'll make everything look, they'll differentiate the icons more from the background so it's easier to tell what is what. I'm sure they'll have different modes you can switch between, but just right off the bat, their liquid glass, which they've been touting quite a bit, I'm not a fan of it, but some people are. Oh, you got green? Nice. That's the only color I have not seen in person, in real life. But it looks really, really cool. The light green looks really nice. Oh, wow. So you got a good deal. Cool. Well, this update is taking longer than I thought. Google said that they fixed their updates, and they did when they made that announcement about a year ago. The updates were pretty quick. But it seems ever since they've made that announcement, these updates take a little longer and a little longer. Now, obviously, it depends on how big the update is, but this is only 391 megabytes. Not that big. And it should be done by now. In the past, I've had to wait. In the past, the longest I've waited for a phone to update, meaning you hit update, and you accept the update, I think it was almost 7 hours. It literally took all day. That was about 3 years ago. But they've gotten better since then. But they did make an announcement saying updates will be faster, and they were. But since they've made that announcement, they've been getting slower. So I'll probably end it here. And I'll wait till this updates, and then I will record my experience with, I'm going to try their desktop mode. So I'll probably try to upload that here a little later this afternoon. So I appreciate you joining me. Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate the time. And please stay tuned. We got a lot more Nothing news on the way, Samsung news, and look out for the Pix video that I will attempt to upload a little later today. Appreciate the time and take care.